Okay, the White House just gave you a raise of $1,000 this year. That's right. You don't even know it, do you? Actually, the White House, the Obama budget just came out. And this year, looking at the data in the budget, it shows the average family is going to get $22,996. That's the average family is going to get that in free government money that's given out and all kinds of programs. These are not grants mostly. They're direct payments right to people to do things, whether it's training for jobs or paying health care, all this kind of getting education or putting on a new roof, all this kind of stuff. And these programs are they're not even called grants. That's why they're hard to find. But more importantly, it's growing. It's growing, actually. It grew over 5.5% from last year. So, I mean, the inflation was like zero. So they're giving more money now to individuals than they have ever before. It grew over last year, and it's going to grow again next year. I mean, the projection for 2016 is another $1,000 increase in addition to the $1,000 increase this year. So this year you get an extra 1,000, and on top of that, you get an extra 1,000 after that. I mean, it's just amazing. People in this town will complain about budget cuts and the government's disappearing and everything. Man, I've been studying this stuff for 30, 40 years. I have yet to see a budget shrink. It grows every year, no matter who's in charge, Republicans, Democrats, both, or whatever. It just keeps growing. That's the nature of the beast, and that's really why we're in problems. We spend money on new problems and don't get rid of the money that is not needed anymore for old problems, because that becomes institutionalized, and that's too bad. But remember, it's important that these programs are there, and this is all the individual money that goes to individuals, and you can see this by going to whitehouse.gov/OMB/budget. So whitehouse.gov/OMB, /OMB/overview. That's the place, because you'll see the whole thing and you get a whole list. So that's whitehouse.gov/OMB/overview. See other things like Obama's proposal for 2 years colleges for free. So that means you get 2 years of training or college for free, nada. And a lot of people say, well, that's not going to happen because of Republicans. Well, I think that has a better chance of happening than most people think because of where we are in a country now. The United States is always thought of as a land of opportunity and the American dream. Well, you can't get the American dream without education anymore. So that's why something like this is important, and people are starting to realize that. Also, it's a way to attack the income inequality. You could earn more money if you have more education and skills and things like that. So it's not only college, it's training. So you just need 6 months, a year or two to learn how to be an engineer of some kind or a healthcare technician or something. All that will be free. Also, there's developed countries now, for a long time, that had all college for free, like Germany and France. Man, who you are, you go for free. We never even mentioned those kinds of things. So we're a little behind the 8 ball there. And student loan debt is bigger than it ever has. So it's a major problem. It's bigger than credit card debt. Remember when everybody is in credit card debt? Well, now student loan debt is actually bigger, and that's happening. So why is that happening? Why is student loan debt? Because the cost of college increased 300% over the last 30 years. Now that's allowing for inflation. So the same college, now if you went back 30 years ago, would cost you 3 times more. So if it was $10,000, it's now $30,000 for the same thing in 1973 dollars. This is what's happening. And it's a pity, because this is what it costs. This is where our money's going, unfortunately. And also, so that's why we have to attack that problem of the rise in college costs. We can't, so in 10 more, 20 more years, it's going to be, double that or triple that again. I mean, that's crazy. We'll be paying more than that on mortgage or anything else in our life will be college, and that's crazy. Also, the other politicians are starting to see that it's a way, to get votes, actually, but to solve problems like that, like Cuomo up in the state of New York. He has a program that will pay, he just introduced it, it's going through the legislature now, that will pay for your student debt for 2 years if when you graduate from college, you don't get a salary paying $50,000 or more. They'll take over the 2 years of your college loans, the first 2 years, and just rip up the paper. You go, don't worry, you're only making $49,000, and we'll pay for it. You know, and I could see people taking advantage. I mean, like, unfortunately, we abuse so many systems, you know, that are there for good, and people abuse it. I mean, if you're a rich family, you'll get a college loan because you can, and then your kid who's an art major sure as heck isn't going to make 50 grand when he graduates, so we'll just rip up the loans, you know, because that's the deal, you know. So there's, I think when we do things like this, we have to put in safeguards for the people who take advantage. I mean, I sort of see that capitalism will rear its ugly head, and so and so we're clever, you know, as capitalists, right? We always find a way to do something better, cheaper, take advantage of the system. That's what capitalism is all about, right? And so we'll figure that out too, you know, if that program starts. So it's something to be very careful about. And that's why on the downside of giving all the money for colleges, I mean, the community colleges may start doing the same. Because now four-year colleges say, hey, come to my college, right? And they say, all you do is get a student loan, you know, and if you default, the government will pay for it. Don't worry, I get the money. The college gets the money no matter what happens to you. You have to pay, you know, the government back, but the college already has the money. So they're out shanghaiing people to come to their college. So you get government money to come to their college, and then you got to pay the money back, and they already got the money. Yeah, and like these for-profit universities get 90% of their money that way. Yeah, from government loan money. And so that's why I think the tuitions went up so high, is because everybody was paying. Sort of like healthcare. Why is healthcare? You and I go to the doctor, we have no idea what it costs. Yeah, sure, somebody else is paying for it. So in college, the same way, you know, hey, come to my college, somebody else will pay for it, don't worry about it. And that could happen now to junior colleges, you know, the community colleges, which are so reasonable, you know, and they may get like, you know, the big colleges now are spending so much money on, you know, healthcare clubs on campus and discos and, you know, dorms that look like, you know, luxurious condos and all this stuff to attract customers, right? They're trying to attract customers and suck them in, so then they borrow money to give to the college right away, and then the kid has to worry about paying it back. So that could happen to the community college too in a program like this. So we have to put in safeguards for something like this so that doesn't start abusing the system. I mean, to me, that's what happened to the housing system. You know, we had the government pay off your mortgage if you couldn't pay. So the bank and everybody, hey, yeah, buy a house, go get it, you know, we don't care, you know, we'll give you money, because they sold the money. They didn't have to worry about it after you got the loan. And if you've defaulted, the government would take care of it, you know, which is a crazy system. But that's the downside, you know, and that's why if your safeguards put in there, so that stuff like that doesn't happen. Now, another thing in the budget that is interesting is what Obama's spending on health care for children, not health care, early childhood development. I mean, that to me is where we should be, you know, investing a lot of money. I mean, for two reasons. One, I mean, the data show that 90% of a person's brain is developed by, you know, before they go to school. That's 90%. So why are we paying college professors hundreds of thousands of dollars and childcare people minimum wage, you know? That's the most important. That's how the kid's going to grow, you know. And now child care development, I mean, child care could run just for an infant like $5,000 or $15,000. So you have an infant, you know, and you got to take care of that person, and have good people take care of it. It costs $15,000. How are you going to do that? You're making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, and you got to get $15,000 after-tax money. That means you have to make, you know, not only $15,000, like $25,000 or whatever to get that $15,000. Man, just for childcare. So it's nuts, you know. And childcare is so important, you know, because every dollar they say that it's invested in early childhood development returns to the society $7 to $14. Because this is less you have to put into, you know, prisons and you know, all those other problems that people have in life because they weren't nurtured well enough, you know, as a young person. So now we're trying to figure out, well, you get a job, you need that higher education, but really to start off in life and have less problems in society, it seems like taking care of the very young people. Early childhood development becomes very important. And so all that kind of data, I'm going to talk about more about this stuff as we go along because it's important. And see, there's opportunities where the money's going. They're spending more money in the government. That means it goes out, creates jobs, creates opportunity, creates money to do other things in life. So you got to watch that stuff. You don't have to be a Washington lobbyist to do that either. So to find out all about it, it's whitehouse.gov/OMB/overview. whitehouse.gov/OMB/overview. That's right, overview. So this is where your money going. And just for the free money that's going out, to everybody, that's, what is it, $24,000 next year. It's $23,000 this year. Next year it will be $24,000. So you got to learn where that stuff is because that's how much going out. The average per family in the USA. Isn't America great? Is money stopping you from starting your own business? Well, don't worry. Well, actually, there's a program now in the federal government that gives you money to live on while you start your business. That's right. Who would have thought? Yeah. Because see, if you start a business, you're creating a job for yourself. And then if you grow that company, you're creating a job for other people. And that's what it's about. See, all the jobs, the new jobs created in our country are coming from small businesses. The big guys, all they're doing is shrinking because that's how their stock prices go up. If they lay off people and have less expenses, and they're making more money for the people on top and their investors. So the people on top are all investors. They own it, so they want their stock prices to go up. So they make their stock prices go up by laying off people. So the big jobs, to create jobs for them, all the new people, is for small businesses to start. And we still haven't finished creating the jobs that we lost in the last recession. Everybody talks about the economy booming and all that kind of stuff, but we're still short of jobs to have enough jobs for everybody and the new people that are entering the workforce. So that's why there's a program at the federal level and actually state level, and it varies from state by state, and it gives you your spending money to live on while you figure out your job. I mean your business that you want to start. So it's free money to live on while you start a business, And it's through the Career One-Stop Centers. That's careeronestop.org, and you go there and you look for your local office and talk to them about it to see how you get qualified for this money. And they'll also, depending on the state you're in, they'll either send you to other classes if you need some help for something like this. They want you to start a business, and that's what it's about. So it's all federal dollars and state dollars that's set aside for this. So investigate it. It's Career One Stop, and I have a video here on YouTube. I interviewed a guy who did this actually. He lost his job at it was in the music business, and he was a guitar player and loved being in the music business. Lost his job, downsized, whatever it was, right side. So what he did, he always wanted to compose music. So he got money to sit in his apartment and write compositions. And what he wrote compositions for music was for like symphony orchestras to play Lady Gaga. Because they're trying to entice young people to their concerts and things like this. So he takes Lady Gaga tunes and pop music tunes and writes an orchestration for them. So he's in the music business. Never thought he'd be able to do that. And now he is, because he's getting free money from the government to live on while he starts his business. So you try it. It's out there. And take a look at this video if you want. There's a link here or in the notes to this video, and you'll find it there. See? We put our own roadblocks saying we can't do something because. Well, here's another roadblock that you could get over, around, or through, or whatever. The thing is to start doing something. Now, this is incredible information to me. It shows that you could get twice as much money from the government in applying for money if you use their free help that helps you fill out the applications. If you don't use the free help, you get twice as less. So you get half the money you could get. Everybody thinks that, boy, why would I, go to the federal government to help them fill me out an application when I'm trying to get their money? They're going to make me get less. No, it's the opposite. See, you can never understand what the government is doing or why. You just have to deal with reality. This is reality, what happens. If you use their help to get the money, you get twice as much. Wow. Now that's an astounding fact in my mind. And actually that data came from, the people, there's something that's very important around the country now. It's to help veterans get money in programs, that's available from the government. And these offices called VSOs, Veteran Service Officers, and they're in every county. And what's interesting too, the data is available. You could find out which counties get more money for their people. That's right. So depending on what county you're going to, the people that help you fill it out, so you can fill it out yourself, but you're going to get half as much. And then if you go to the right county, you get more than double, because some of these people are better at it than other people. And you could look at the data and say, hey, maybe that county down the street, the guy there can help me. So if the person where you live isn't doing it well, maybe the other person, you can ask, maybe they'll do it, maybe they don't, but it's worth a ask if you're going to double your money. Now look at this here. I went in and looked at the database, and I'll give you the link here too. It'll either be, I'll give you the link in the, in the notes to this thing. But I went in and I looked for Montgomery County. That's where I live, in Montgomery County. So I looked in Montgomery County in Illinois, and there's another Montgomery County in Alabama. Well, the average spending per veteran, in other words, how much the veteran is getting in money, is 3 times as much in the county in Alabama called Montgomery versus the county in Illinois called Montgomery. 3 times as much. I mean, that's fantastic to me. In medical spending, it's double. So you're going to get double or 3 times as much depending on who helps you fill out the application. And the person who's helping you fill out the application is paid by the government to do it, to help you do that. And they're just people on the government payroll doing it. Sometimes they're freelancers or whatever. They just pay people to help them. And they're called the Veteran Service Officers. So if you Google that, Veteran Services Officers, because there are offices in every county. If you call 211 wherever you live, if you're a vet and you're looking for the Veteran Services officers, you could call 211, hook them up. They're the people that help vets start a business, get money to do this, help pay for your mortgage, get health problems solved, or whatever. That's what they're there to do. And you don't have to hire a consultant, you don't have to hire a lawyer. These people are getting twice as much money as people who don't use them. Now that's astounding to me. So that's why your preconceived notions about a lot of things, you got to keep an open mind about what's reality in life. And the older I get, I see, man, I'm wrong so many times with my preconceived ideas of stuff. And so the best thing is to investigate. Look at options, evaluate them, then make a decision. Don't make it on some harebrained headline you read, right? Or some idiot who's screaming at you. There's options out there to find out anything, to get help almost for anything, and you get twice as much money doing it. From a source, you would think you would get twice less, but you get twice more. Well, if you think the American dream is dead, you're nuts. You know what you gotta do? You gotta talk to some immigrants that come to this country. They remind you about what this country is all about because they're doing it. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you stay here long enough and you go through the system here and it gets beat out of you that you could do something in this country, and you really can. Now, here's a video of a young man, who came to this country, and actually his parents were paying his tuition, going to college, and then they had some family problems. They couldn't pay his tuition anymore. So he went out and worked for a living while he was finishing college. He worked in food service. He graduated and still in food service, restaurant business or whatever, and he wanted to do something more. Now listen to this. This sounds like an Oprah story or something like that, but he read a book. one book, and he tells you this video about what book that changed his life. I've read a book. Can you imagine just one book changing a person's life like that? Well, he believed in the system so much, he just couldn't figure out how to do it. Yeah. And then this book them. And then he talks just joyfully and so nice about, he found his wife, or it wasn't, he lost his wife, he found a woman who became his wife, and he feels that this book and the love of a woman was able to change his entire life, to give him what he needed somehow emotionally to go on and find, because you just can't read about stuff as he talks about, you have to do stuff. And he had this little silly kind of idea, and then he put it on the internet, and he got $16,000 to do it, and started a whole new business. And he gets thousands of people on the internet to say he's great because he thought of this idea. You know, and he was working in a restaurant, you know, a young man who just got out of college doing this. You know, and that's what, this can happen. And it happened easier now because he had no money to do this. You know, that's another thing. To me, when I grew up young, and you needed money to, the only thing you could really start without any money was really a service business. Now, with the internet, you don't need a service business. You start, you know, things because you don't need to produce anything. You just show people, hey, it's going to be like this. You want one? And they give you money ahead of time. Now, that's incredible to me. There's nowhere else in history that so many businesses can be started with so little money as there is right now. So watch this video, this nice young man who said that the people who love him around him and a book that he got inspiration from made it all happen. And he's very sincere. He's not some slick talking huckster on TV. He's just a real guy. He's struggling through life like the rest of us. So watch it. Well, John Mullen, it's M-U-L-A-N, and running into you has been a real treat, John. I mean, you have a wonderful product, the sticky stuff that you just put on the back of your cell phone. You can stick it anywhere, on your nose, on the wall, on your two cell phones together, anything you want. You have a wonderful campaign going on Kickstarter, and you can even put your computer on the wall with this stuff. And this stuff starts at $10. I don't know how you do this, but it's wonderful. But more importantly, John, I want people to know more about your story. I mean, you were telling me how you got here. You've been here how long? 6 years, 7 years in the United States?
For 8 years now.
8 years.
Yes, correct.
And how did all this begin? What was it like to get to be an entrepreneur from 8 years ago?
Wow, it's totally a wild ride. Like, it's really different because before I just like all the same people, like I just work daily by daily, like taking paycheck, be safe with everything. When you take paycheck, everything is safe. You just like grab your paycheck, go home, everything be safe. When you become entrepreneur, it's totally different. Like you need to have something that people love and people will like it and they will buy it, and that's when you can make a living. It's totally
But how did you get to that place? I mean, you were explaining you were in school at one time, then you didn't have enough money and you had to go work, right? What kind of jobs did you have?
Yeah, correct. So before, when first time I come here, I go to school and my parents still support me, and that's really easy. And then one day something happened with my family business back in my country. So I need to help myself to support me. So I do a part-time job in the restaurant. And I'm in love with being a sushi chef. Like, yeah. So I see the sushi chef. Wow, that's really something like I want to learn.
Yeah.
And then that's the end. I'm learning to become a sushi chef for 3 years.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, I work in a Japanese restaurant. And then one day, I meet my beautiful wife. And, we get married, and then she introduced me to this book called The Secret.
The Secret. Oh, very popular here.
Yeah, it's really popular. But my wife told me like, oh, I think you're gonna like this book. So I start reading it. I read, and I think like, oh wow, actually this is really great. I can become what I want. Like I can spread positivity to everyone if I want. Everything is in the head. It depends on you. So I start reading it. Oh wow, this is really good. So I start looking for entrepreneur everything on YouTube,
Uh-huh.
and then I watched this show called Shark Tank. Of course,
Uh-huh.
everybody know. Yeah, I'm in love with that show. Since then, like I see people creating one product and they make a living, they become something, they
Uh,
become success, and I from that moment on, I start looking a way to become an entrepreneur. I want to
mhm.
have my own business. I think I can start with Kavi. This is my first step. My
Well, you
first
already
step.
got. I mean, you didn't even go to Shark Tank. You went on the internet, and
Yes,
you made twice your goal already, and you
yes,
still have a few more days left. So you're on your way. You figured out the secret, right?
yes.
And what is it? What is it? What do you think the secret really is?
The secret really mean is like if you think you can do it,
Uh-huh.
you will get there. So
Ah.
think about the goal first. Like I already think my goal. Okay, I have product and I think it's useful. I use it. I love it. And in my head, I just think people will love this. If I keep
Ah.
concentrating, people will love this. People will love this. Well, apparently, I have. Let me check now. 700 uh, people
People
now.
who love this. Now you have not only John, but you have 700 other people who love this, but because
Yes,
of you, right?
yes. 700 people that I don't even know. They see my product, they see my video, they fall in love, and I'm thankful for them. They're really like they believe in my product, and
Uh-huh.
I, it's my job now to have their money and responsibility to deliver it to them, and I hope all of them love it.
Well, they
Yeah,
do. They're giving you money before they even see the product, and it's hard to see, isn't it? Show us one of those little sticky
correct.
things.
Yes, it's hard. It's really simple. It's transparent. Like
Uh
that,
huh.
it's transparent and it's rewashable, reusable, and actually I use it to replace the to create this to replace the function of like magnets,
I see.
tags,
Right.
and double tapes. Like it have the
Right.
function of all
All
that.
that. So you could put like two cell phones together and it stays together, right?
Correct.
You could put an iPad on the wall, right? And stick
Correct.
your
That's the idea. When the idea comes, it's from when me and my wife we watching a show on our tablet.
Uh-huh.
Watching a show on our tablet. I'm holding it, so I'm telling my wife, "Oh, it's really tiring. I hope I can just stick this tablet on the wall and then rewatch it." And then we start like brainstorming.
But
Yes,
not only
somehow.
that, but you also created your own Shark Tank. I mean, it seems to me,
Yes.
an immigrant coming to this country, you read one book, you believe in the idea that America, you can do this, and you do it.
Yeah.
Most of people, we stay here so long, we forget we can do
Yeah.
it.
Like everybody can do it. Especially I want to talk about Kickstarter too. It's a really good platform. Like it's risk free. Like I think
Right.
if I put it, if I don't success, I'll learn something.
Yeah.
If I success, I'll learn more. Like nothing to lose. I think like
Yeah.
just go for it.
If you lose, you win. You win, you win. And if nothing happens, nothing happens. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, if you fail, you learn a lot.
Yes. Oh,
If you
absolutely.
success,
Right.
you learn more. Like it's win-win
Exactly.
situation.
Sometimes you learn less because if you win because
Oh yeah.
because you think that will work all the time, and
Uh-huh.
usually you have to do something different. It's all about new and trying. Well, you're an inspiration to us Americans. To
Ah,
remember that anybody could come to this country and not know what it's about, and be successful, and not even, we all look at Shark Tank and want to be that way, and you did too, and went out and did it. Uh,
yes.
and that's so terrific. Well, your website, now to get it, it's Kiva Adhesive, Kavii Adhesive, Had. No, I'm sorry. Add DC. I need a foreigner to tell me how to speak English. Adhesive, adhesive. So Kavii adhesive.com. You can
Right.
get it there while it's still on Kickstarter, and then you'll be marketed. And it's only $10 to start. And you pay shipping and all this kind of stuff. And when you're in stores and all over, it's going to be a lot more, you know, because you're going to have all those middlemen in there, and you're going to have people are going to have to, you're going to have to charge more. So now is a great time to get it, isn't it?
Yes, correct. Actually, we already have people already contact us from out of country to become distributor.
Wow!
I have 3 from Taiwan, Hong Kong, Middle East, Europe, Netherlands.
Wow.
Like they want to become distributor. I'm
if
amazed.
And if you didn't put it on the internet, that wouldn't have happened because you couldn't find those people in Taiwan, even though you're. And they found you. They found the sushi chef from California who's dying to finally make his own dream come true because he read one book. Man, why can't we all do that? You're an inspiration, John. Thank you for being there, and thank you for using your creativity and enthusiasm to share it with all us. And I'm sure there'll be thousands of people that are going to love that little sticky stuff, not just 700.
Thank you for having me on your show. I really do appreciate it.
My pleasure, John. Thank you for being there. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, now listen, I think you'd be a smart person if you start hanging around 20-year-olds, you know, like millennials, those people, they're 20, 30 years old, because they're what's happening. They have an edge somehow on what's happening in this society. And like here, 2 guys are going to meet now. Yeah, college kids start a business in college with getting $50,000 on the internet. Man, when I was in college, you couldn't do that. You just couldn't. It was in no one's mind at all. You know, and now it's possible. And actually, they're more versatile on the internet. They know that. But anybody can figure it out. God, if a kid could do it, you could do it too. The rest of us can. But we just don't know it's there or comfortable enough to take advantage of it. And that's what it means. You know, is learning and struggling and figure things out. That's where it's happening. When could you get $50,000 while you're a kid in college? You start a business. That's all. You just got an idea. And you know what the business is? Opening a beer bottle. Boy. We're as smart as that, right? God, I mean, that's what life is becoming. And it's so easy to take a little idea and start doing something with it and using the internet, because otherwise, if you're an old school guy like me, you'd be thinking, well, I need venture capitalists, I need banks, I need, you know, experts. And they didn't have bupkis. They didn't even finish college and they're doing it. How could they be an expert at anything? They're not. And I talked to dozens of people like this, young people in college, out of their dorm room, making $30,000, $40,000 while they're still going to school, you know. And that's why I think it's so exciting in our life today, that anybody could do this, anybody could start. And see, business to me is not so much making $1 zillion. Who cares about that? What are you going to do after years? You know, you have just so much to spend. You know, you're going to spend your life spending stuff. You have to spend your life creating, improving things, giving to people, and having control of your life. That's what, to me, entrepreneurism is, having control of your life. Working for somebody in 9 to 5. Oh, man, that just sounds like jail every day to me. So that's why finding something like this and being able to do it without any money gives you the freedom to grow like you should be growing. You want to be a potted plant sitting somewhere and can't even grow bigger than that little pot you're in? No, you want to be in the jungle and wild and growing as much as you possibly can. And that's what our society is creating for all of us. You just have to start figuring out how to use it. So watch how these kids did it. We could copy kids, can't we? They copy us. Well, Skylar Lano and Wyatt Thurston. And what's that in your hand, Wyatt? Show us that. What is that?
This is the saber tooth. It is
That's
the
the saber tooth.
Yes.
And so this is how you pay your college student loans, isn't it? By inventing saber tooth.
That's a great story. We should start telling people that, but not quite.
You're rich kids, that's why. No. But man, you raised, you had seniors in college, right? You invented this thing and went on the internet and got what? $20,000-$30,000 or something like that, for this on crowdfunding. Now you're on your second campaign because that wasn't good enough for you. You finally graduated with a real degree. You didn't have to drink through. You actually did some homework, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And now you got another campaign, and this thing's crazy, man. It's going crazy again. I mean, you're already up close to $15,000-$20,000, and you got a couple weeks to go. And it's just that little thing you showed, and it opens the can like 15 different ways, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Four,
So we have
four different functions.
4 different functions, right? And it's a keychain. And I saw in the video that you have on Kickstarter, your mother loves it. Now, if a mother loves your beer drinking, and who was that young lady you caught drying her hair in the shower or whatever?
That is my little sister, and she doesn't drink beers yet, but she did help in the product testing. And, she can use it too. It's pretty easy.
Well, I think people ought to see your video there, because one guy tests it and what using as a shotgun method of drinking beer, where you put a hole in the bottom of the can and you just it goes down your throat without having to swallow or something like that. Us old guys don't know this stuff, see.
No, some old guys do. I mean,
really?
I've shotgunned a beer with my dad.
Really? My boy was who was a frat guy. He was a king of beer pong, and every time we go up to visit for him, we had father and son beer pong tournaments, and I was terrible. But by his senior year, I finally got decent enough. We won, but man, I got so bloody drunk. I mean, I've been drunk in 40 years or something like that. But we won.
Nice.
But another thing, in your video, what was impressive, but that young guy, I don't think it was one of you, who was so excited about your opener. He said, "God, this is fucking great."
Yeah, that was me.
No,
that was you.
So no, that was the first time. So we 3D printed these, which was a really cool experience. We made about 8 different models of what we thought would work,
right.
And that was the first ever time that we tested the Sabertooth. And so we didn't know how it was going to work. We thought it was a good design, but until you actually test it out, you just don't know. And so that was in front of a Starbucks, actually. We were meeting at a Starbucks.
Really?
And Wyatt was there, and then I went and picked them up from the mail, all of them. Met him there, and he was about to leave for break or something. So we had a few beers, and we were testing him out, and it worked perfect.
Wait, you
So we
had
were pretty
beers at
excited.
Starbucks, or what? Or you went to it?
No, we wouldn't pick them up at like a gas station or something. We couldn't wait.
Yeah, we were just let's see what's gonna happen.
But no, you had to use that. You could probably use language like that on the web and anywhere. So that could be part of your advertising campaign, because it's so authentic. I mean, you were really so surprised that this is so great the way it makes all.
I don't think. I mean, well, actually, I know that when he was shooting the video, it was more of like a test for our engineers that we could send them, and then it just happened to be, we were like, well, we should, show our Kickstarter backers, the actual process and the emotions that we went through when we found that this awesome product worked perfectly.
No, it was delightful, and you guys are just fun to be able to do it. But really, what you're doing to me is telling a story on how you really built a career out of your senior year in college by something you had passion for, which was what most guys do in senior year in college, drinking beer, and you found a way to make this a career where you got $23,000 and started on your way, and you bootstrapped at the first thing, right? And now you had money you hired some real professional designers from the money you got from crowdfunding, right?
Yeah, it's funny actually. The designers that we had this time around. So the first time, we contacted a million different designers, basically asking them to help us out for free. For one, but this time we could pay some designers, and we used 2 students from the UCLA. And so it was cool because they were kind of on the same wavelength as us, and like they understood exactly the products we wanted to make because they have shotgun beers.
They're also in fraternities, so.
I see. No, it's just ideal how you could take a passion in life and really make money on it. And now you're thinking about other products already. You were thinking about maybe starting a brewery, but that seemed too political.
Yeah, so it's been really the best experience for us. We were actually starting a tech startup with tutors, And it was going to cost us like $200,000 to make it. We really didn't know any investors at the time.
I see. Yeah.
And so we were kind of bummed out actually after developing it for about 6 months. We were sitting in our house, in our frat house, and we were saying, what could we do that we could get started in a week or two, or in a few weeks, and that we could just test to prove that we could take an idea, create it, sell it, and market something. And so we started thinking of simple ideas, and we realized this hadn't existed. At least no one had done this the right way before. And so that led to the development of the beer tusk, and then ultimately the saber tooth. And it's really been the best thing we could have ever done, because it's not only given us so much experience, it's given us a lot of credibility with other investors or business owners that, hey, we created something in college, we shipped something out of our dorm room, and we can do something bigger now. So it's been the best learning experience.
But actually, I mean, to me, for 2 kids in college doing exams, you made a 95% or a 90% on-time rate on crowdfunding. I mean, that's almost unheard of on crowdfunding. Nobody's on time, delivering their product. But you guys were 90% on time, weren't you?
Yeah,
we were really surprised actually.
Yeah.
So did you get all A's in your grades too, or just A's in kickstarting?
No, we both.
I don't know if we want to talk about that.
Might have missed a few classes our senior year to do this stuff. But.
Well, that's terrific. And really, the place to find out about you guys, you go to your website, ragingmammoth.com, RAGINGMAMMOTH. See, I flunked English in college, and I got 2 New York Times bestsellers, but I still spell for the rest of us. Yeah. And that will take you to the crowdfunding. Get it. I mean, it's like $12 or something. I mean, this thing is incredibly cheap. And I'm sure once you get out of the Kickstarter, you're going to have to double the price, because of all the middlemen, that get involved and things like that. So it's a deal on your site now, right?
Yeah, no, it's going to be the best price you're going to get on it for sure.
Right. A great little gift that fits on a keychain and everything, and especially if you have college friends, they all have to have one of these. They can't leave home without it.
Yeah, the thing is, this should replace any keychain bottle opener you have right now, because, I mean, I see my friends' bottle openers on their keychains, and they have, one function, that's to open bottles.
Right.
This is the real.
But it's cool too. That's the other thing. I mean, hey, what's that? That's neat. It's colorful. You got 5, 6 different colors. I can have one matching every suit I have and everything, right? RagingMammoth.com. Well, thank you, Scott, Wyatt. Keep in there, making us happy with drinking more beer. Okay.
That's what it's done.
Thank you, Mr.
Take
Lesko.
care.
Yeah, thank
Matthew.
you.
Oh, that's the word. Take care. Now, this next interview, you're going to learn, you're going to see an incredible toy. I mean, it's not really a toy. It's for everybody. And it's for everybody to learn from. Actually, it's, how our world is changing so much. We see movies about robots and all this kind of stuff. We don't really understand. We think it's something for the techies or, somebody that, you read about and it'll never be you. Well, this is a toy for adults and kids. It's really to teach kids how to be good at this stuff. And because you can make robots out of straws. You take a whole box of straws and you can make an elephant robot that walks down the road for you. And stuff like the neatest thing that lights up at night and walks across the street and cleans stuff off your floor and all these kinds of things just with straws and a robot. And little electronics are like 50 cents or, $10 or $20, $30 for all this stuff. Man, you wish you were a kid. And it really, what it does, it excites kids to be part of this, because this is where the growth in the world is coming from. Electronic stuff, how many kids worry about cars anymore? My kids forgot about cars. They don't want to know about the new PC. Now I see little kids with tablets. They don't even read books anymore. They're getting everything on tablets and doing it. So now, could you imagine if little kids are building robots so they can make robots to cure cancer or whatever it is? But you too, as an adult, find an excuse to find a kid to buy this one. It's nothing. It's really cheap to get one yourself to learn how this stuff operates. Because really, once you get it on a small level like that, then you could expand your mind about, hey, I could use this to find a golf ball or whatever that is important to you, and how to use technology. See, it's all about this. Technology is all over. It's just that we don't know how to use it. And that's why now, Apple spent like $500 million giving out $500 million to people in 1 week, the first week of January, who make apps for their app store. $500 million in 1 week. I mean, there's like 20 million apps now available. I mean, books are out of date. It's only going to be apps. That's how you communicate. But it has to do something. It has to lend something. Not just the same stuff we had in the old technology. Now it lights up for you in an app or something. No, it's stuff that does stuff like that. Here now, a robot can do stuff with the little technology. So start learning. If you're growing up, secretly watch this next video, because you can learn how to do this. And for $50, start building your own robot. So watch. Well, Carl Bursted, and more importantly, it's quickbot.com, and you have just the coolest thing that's going to make every kid in the world want to be a high-tech geeky.
Yeah, that's right.
But actually, it's a toy that really teaches electronics, coding, and it runs on straws. How cool is that? Well, what made you think of this thing?
Well, I mean, honestly, a lot of kids were already craving this. So I've been doing technology workshops for kids for the last 1.5 years.
I see.
And it's part of a global movement called Kids Hack Day. And about a year ago, we had some kids playing around with straws. We have a construction toy called Strawbees, which this is built on top of. So they were building some weird creatures with the Strawbees and the straws. And some other kids were doing some electronic stuff and programming on the other side of the room. And at the end of the day, they were trying to combine these. They sort of started putting straws on the LEDs, and but there wasn't really a natural way for them to make their creature come alive, because the electronics tools that we were using were not so mobile. They were a bit clumsy, a bit too big. So that's when I got the first idea, and that was in December 2013.
Wow! And now, I mean, you make animals, you make monsters, you make you make things that clean things. What is that? Wow! And they just hop around the floor. It's a dog. Wow! Yeah, I mean, it's just. I saw an elephant that somebody made, put it on their head. I mean, and it's next to nothing. The cost of this thing. I mean, before you're saying that.
Well,
it was so expensive.
We're using, sorry. That's right. It's really cheap and very accessible. You can get them anywhere. The actual brain of the little creature, this one, it's built on top of Arduino, which is an open standard for programmable microcontrollers. So it's fairly accessible. It doesn't have any expensive production cost because it's just a circuit board.
So QuirkBot, now you packaged it up for a Kickstarter campaign, crowdfunding, and you got almost $50,000 already, and people, and so you could get into this thing, I think for like almost only $30 or something, and you get a starter kit, and it's now what you're saying with the open source software and stuff you could just get for $10 at Radio Shack. I mean, you could be making robots and monsters.
I mean, the standard kit that allows you to build this, it's that you can it's moving. I'll put it on the floor.
Okay.
The standard kit that allows you to make this. It costs $69.
Wow!
But then it comes with the brain. It comes with the motor, which is off-the-shelf component you can get at Radio Shack. And it comes with the straws and the Strawbees, which is this little construction toy here that allows you to connect.
Oh, I see.
Straws.
So there's straws. It's like erector sets in my day, or something like that, or Lincoln logs. All those You know, so you have something. I mean, what's neat is you're teaching kids not to just look at a screen. You know, they're really working with their hands, electronics, and doing all this other stuff that, you know, looking at their iPad all day is not developing much.
Well, we try to say like this, you know, that mankind has always been making and playing with his own toys. And there used to be a time when kids just went out into the forest and used only their hands and their imagination and whatever was at their disposal to make, you know, anything and everything that they were capable of imagining. Like you take some pine and turn it into a space shuttle, you put some sticks on it, and you know. And my parents have always, I think we have a lot of people from your generation, and including mine, I'm sort of in between, has this nostalgia of this, the way it was before when you were just you had much more room for your own imagination. And you were making stuff with your hands.
Exactly, and that's what's neat about it, because everybody worries about these kids won't be able to do anything anymore because they're just looking at code and punching keys, you know. And now you've turned all that around, you know, and plus introduce the next generation to technology and the power of this. Man, so if you start to learn to make little robots, then your mind's going to jump to solve other problems, you know, that are more than just fun, and create a whole new generation to use this technology better.
Yeah, and I mean, you're touching on an important point there, because we really, I mean, this organization that I was part of founding called Kids Hack Day, where this is product has, we really believe in hacking and the hacker mindset. And for some people, hacking might still be have a negative connotation, but for us, it doesn't really have that much to do with computers. You can hack code and change code, but you can also hack electronics, and you can hack your toys. You can hack anything, really. And hacking is just taking something that has been designed for you to be used in a certain way, and then changing it to be...
Absolutely. No, that's why I'm hacking the government for people, you know.
You are hacking the video.
And I spoke at a hackers group last week, and yeah, I mean, this is ideal for them, because now they could they could bring their kids to a hackerspace, and they could work on this together, because people, maybe a grown-up will say, oh, I don't want to build an elephant out of straws or something, but man, a kid does. And also, even if you're an adult, if you build an elephant out of straws and see that sucker walk around your floor, you're going to think of more important things to do, even as an adult, not so much a kid. Yeah. Plus, it's a great gift, man. If you have kids in your life, grandkids in your life.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it has. We are firm believers in the value of play, and I think all meaningful learning has to start with play. Because that's what kids can really relate to. And so it's not only a toy to make toys or a maker toy, but it's also something that can have a lot of value for education also. So we're we're selling it as a toy, but we're working with after-school programs. A lot of schools have shown interest in this because it's very open-ended, and you can extend it to and build a really big robotics program for your school. So it has sort of all of those aspects, which makes us very excited.
But if you're having fun, man, you're going to stay interested. You know? That's the key of life. So we're teaching kids.
Like, adults need to learn how to play also.
Absolutely. They hate their job every day because they're not having fun at it. So if you realize, work could be fun, and now you're teaching people how to be creative, participate, and have fun too. What could be better than that?
Even if they don't have kids, they either buy a few of our Quirkbots or they consult you to know how to have fun and how to play.
Absolutely. No, this would be a great party game, man. Your friends come over for dinner, and you put a bunch of these things out, and you make it after dinner, instead of playing some stupid board game. Yeah. And
we have. I mean, I try to always communicate in the value of play, but also bring in a slightly more philosophical angle to play, and something that's that sort of touches, I think, everyone. And that's this quote. We're working with the Science Center in Stockholm, and at the entrance of their space, they have this quote, which I love. And it says, you don't grow older because, or sorry, you don't stop playing because you grow older. You grow older because you stop playing.
That's
So,
I believe in that. That's why I'm working like hell, trying to have fun every day.
yeah, I mean, it's important. It's important to
Absolutely.
feel creative and to
Yeah.
keep your
So
curiosity.
you don't grow. Well, let's see. You,
You don't stop playing because you grow older. You grow older because you stop
so you
playing.
don't stop playing because you grow older. You're growing older because you stop playing, right? Well, wonderful. Well, we all got to go to QuirkBot, QuirkBot.com. Find out about this. You got a couple more weeks on Kickstarter, and you got a good deal there. And just to watch you guys and find out more about the Kids Hack Day too.
Yeah.
To have one in your area would be wonderful. Everybody to do. And so, thank
We
you.
also do have a school kit also.
Well, yeah, no, it's ideal for anybody, whether you're in science class or any kind of class,
Yeah.
to have something like this. Well, you're a delight, Carl. Thank you for using your talents, and you got out of engineering management or whatever that boring thing you were doing to help the rest of us learn how to have fun.
Goodbye.
Bye. QuirkBot.com. Take care.